to Save with a Twist podcast. Now, y'all, I gotta keep it 100 with you. Before we start, I need to say one thing. Balance is a lie. A beautiful, well-meaning lie that Instagram, Pinterest, all these things sold us, but it's a lie nonetheless. Now, if you've ever tried to juggle work, purpose, healing, your hydration goals, self-care, prayer time, relationships, and a good skincare routine all at the same time, then baby, this episode is for you. This episode is for every person, man or woman, who has been told that we can have it all. And we're now discovering that we don't need to. This one's called The Balance is Ghetto. Trying to be everything and still have faith. Now strap in because we're about to unpack it. But before we dive in, if you haven't already, make sure you're following Save with a Twist podcast, okay? Make sure. So, as I do to find topics for us to talk about, I was scrolling on the socials, doing what we do. And I came across a couple of things that made me think about why balance is ghetto. I came across an IG reel, and they had captioned it saying something like, adulting, fitness, full-time job, side hustle, ministry, all before 9 a.m. And quite frankly, I laughed because, girl, ain't nobody doing all that before 9 a.m. Let's be realistic. Then I go on there to the tick of the talk. And baby, the TikTok girlies are in some drama. So here's what had happened. There was this mom, I do believe she's married, but she gets on TikTok and she's talking about how she silently laughs at her friends who don't have kids because they were talking about, her friends were saying they're so busy, it's so much, all of this, right? So she gets on TikTok and was like, actually, you don't have kids, so you have all the free time in the world. Oh, baby, she got the girlies in a chokehold with that one because we're sitting here thinking for those who have kids, and you may not be like her, but if you are, let me explain something to you, okay? Just because I am childless does not mean that I have all the free time in the world to do whatever it is I want. Because guess what? I have jobs, and I mean jobs with an S, plural. I have bills to pay, so I have to be focused and worried about that. I have volunteer work, community service. I have to spend time with friends and family. So where is the free time? Is it in the room with us? Somebody point out to me. Do y'all see it? Because I don't. But I say all this to say that, you're trying to glamorize this. Oh, you have all this time in the world, so you can do whatever it is you want. Babe, no, we don't. Okay, don't try to glamorize. Oh, if you didn't have any kids, you have free time. Yeah, you know why? Because we have this, I don't know how to call it, but let's just call it, it's a code, okay? It's a code for pressure. You're trying to balance it and have it all, and you're trying to glamorize this because we're sold this, oh, my life is balanced, like it's a brand. We have these curated feeds. We have like the little matching mugs, the soft lighting, but not any, and I mean not any clue of what it costs to have all of that in your life. Now, I will say this, quiet as it's kept, if y'all see any crazy foolishness or anything like that, go ahead and DM your girl because I want to see it. Let's talk about it, okay? But I will say this, it costs a lot to have what you believe is a balanced life. But let's talk about what this balanced life, yes, with the air quotations, really costs and why maybe, just maybe, that balance is overhyped, overrated, and absolutely underdelivered. So I'm going to say this. Why do I believe that balance is ghetto? Let's break it down a little bit. The one just talked about. the social media mirage of balance. On social media, balance looks like, little pastel colored lattes. Everybody's in that matcha phase. I'm not a fan. Yoga pants, or you have these other ones for our Christian girlies. You have a Bible in one hand and a laptop in other, saying that, oh, I'm reading my word, I'm doing this. Like, you making it look good. Then on one side of the screen of the laptop, you got your little notes for your Bible study. Then on the other screen, you got like, side hustles and stuff on the screen. Then, of course, us girls who wear our heels, and you got your little tote bags. You have all the little aesthetic things set up in the background. But can we be real about this? Here's the twist. In real life, you know what we really got? We got junk sitting in the corner because we're so tired that we can't clean it up. So we just pushed it out the way so it wouldn't be in the shot. If you have kids, you have diapers, you have play dates, you got to deal with a husband if you have a husband. We got bills, we got jobs where we burn out on our jobs. And then sometimes for those of us who have our faith walk, we are in autopilot for our faith because we feel like there's not enough hours in the day. Now, truthfully, most of us be scrolling through these, little aesthetic feeds. We are exhausted just looking at that because it's like, girl, how are you doing this? And truthfully, some people, that really is their reality. Number one person I can think of off the top of the dome is Jackie Aina. But guess what? She's worked and curated for years and years and years to have the life that she wanted, because she didn't always have that life. But she worked to get to that point. And yes, like she said, she does luxury style things, but that's not where she started at. Babe, a lot of times we're looking at these folks where they are and not where they started. Because I will go back and 10 years ago, what was you looking like? Because I need to know. And then we want to convince ourselves that we're trying to be motivated by their brand, by what we're seeing. Is that motivation, or is it that green-eyed monster called envy? Is it jealousy? Because then we start getting to this point in our thought process that we start believing that if we can't keep up with them, we're the ones actually failing, like we're falling short. When you haven't sat down, looked at your life, be like, do I want to look like that? Do I want to put in all the work that goes behind it? Because we'll see 2-3 minute clip of what Jackie's doing, but you're not seeing the work that she's putting in. You're not seeing these long hours that she and her husband are putting in to make Forever Move be what Forever Move is. Now, mind you, I'm not bashing Jackie because I do appreciate it. I do greatly enjoy the aesthetic of her, but I also love that in the midst of that aesthetic, she gives us the reality of what's really happening in her life. Like, she'll talk about, at 36, not want to be called auntie. And that's her prerogative. She talks about how I block people who are just determined to be trolls on the internet. And sometimes that's what you got to do. Now, mind you, we all trying to keep it together. We're trying to, make it seem like we have it all. We're trying to keep up with these reels of these women, who wake up at 4 a.m. to stretch. Or these guys, I think I saw it was a while ago. This dude that says he gets up at 4 a.m. every morning and shows us his morning routine. Sir, are you for real? Because first off, I hate this. Y'all, I do. I have not done it as a content creator. But you mean to tell me that your camera just rolling so you can just automatically click, get up, and you can show them your morning routine? You're a liar. So, sir, you have to get up extra early. Set your camera equipment up. Record. Get back in the bed. Turn on the light. Get out the bed. Make it seem like let's go do this morning routine. You're not doing that every day. And I know you're not. Like, I promise you, these people, they be on social media saying, oh, I got up stretch, I prayed, I break some bread, I bake some too, I rescued a little kitten, I run a Fortune 500 company. Baby, let me tell you, most days, I'm just trying to remember where I put my phone at, because I will lose that thing in a heartbeat. If it's not ringing, beeping, or whatever, I don't know where it's at. I'm not, just criminally attached to my phone. Now, I'm going to say this. That the social media mirage will have you out here looking real stupid, trying to create this aesthetic that these people have curated, because it's not real. They curated it on social media But that's not their real life. That's not what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. I guarantee you they're not. Because the twist is there's no blueprint that says real life has to be aesthetic. That's a social media thing. Because I guarantee you, ain't nobody just sitting out here with no full white house saying, oh, I make sure I keep my house clean every day. Use a lie. And ain't no truth nowhere near you. And I'm just going to say it. There's also no grace in trying to keep up with somebody else's highlight reel. Baby, this is your life. If they want to curate a fake life on social media, let them. You just don't need to believe it. And in the process of us trying to make it look like we just had this great balanced life, that we can juggle 20,000 balls in our hand or whatever, there's always something that you're going to lose trying to have it all. Now pause for a second. Think about what you sacrificed lately just trying to prove that you're handling things. Have you sacrificed your sleep, your joy, time with God, your edges? Sometimes we are just doing the most, but we're losing the best part of ourselves. Now, truthfully, when we are trying to have it all, you're going to lose something. Like I said, sometimes it could be your sleep. Sometimes it could be your joy. It could be your peace. Or sometimes you can just lose yourself. You can lose who you are as a person. And baby, I'm here to tell you, don't do it. Don't lose you. Always remember who you are. Now, I'm going to say this because I had a mom friend when I was in college. And I will say this. I had this group of friends. We all hung out together because we were all the same major. And we ended up always being in the same classes with one another. We didn't do it intentionally at first, but then later we would do it intentionally. So it was crazy. She was a friend that I knew from high school. And she had a baby. And we were all sitting in class together. And one day she brought her baby to class. And she was panicking because she had to give a presentation. And she was like, I could not get a babysitter. Nobody could watch my baby. And I was like, girl, hand me that baby and go up there and do that presentation. And she was like, what? I was like, hand me the baby. Now, mind you, when she hands me the baby, because she had been panicking, the baby's crying, the teacher's looking at her like she's crazy. I take the baby because I am calm. And if you don't know this, learn something today. Babies and animals feed off of your energy. If you're scared, they're going to react to you. Now, I'm calm. I'm chilling. Baby girl goes to sleep. So she gets to give her presentation in peace, whatever. Now, in this moment, I don't think I realized this, but I was just like, she's young. She's had a baby. Babies are a blessing. But why should that stop her enjoying certain things of her life? So, we in college, we're going to step shows. We doing all this. I'm like, girl, come on, bring that baby. We just going to bring the stroller in. Mind you, we started getting the stuff free because the baby was with us. I don't know how, but we did. They were just like, oh, y'all going in. Because everybody knew all of us to be together. Because we were together on campus all the time. Like I said, these were my girls at the time. So one night we were like, oh, we want to go to an after party. And she was like, well, I can't go because I have a baby. And one of our friends' moms was like, no, girl, give me that baby. I'm gonna keep her. Y'all go out, have a good time. And she just gave us a time to be back by, right? Now, mind you, we still grown, but, we gonna respect, she's a mom. So we going out, we having a good time, we doing all this. In all of this, later on, this girl told me, she was like, thank y'all so much. Because in me becoming a mom, I did not lose who I was because y'all wouldn't just let me say, oh, she's a mom, she can't come with us. Because sometimes that's what happens. But that isn't always the case. For example, have you as a person who, if you're a believer in whatever religion that you may be in, have you missed your prayer time because you're working overtime? Like if you have to go, and I don't mean going to like prayer meetings or anything like that. Sometimes you have a set time in your day that you want to pray. And, you're just working overtime and you're so overworked that you miss out on something. Yeah, that's what happens when you're trying to have it all, especially if you're trying to have it all in your career. You will miss out on other things. You'll miss out on family dinners, big things for other people. You might miss an engagement thing because you're so concerned about work that you're missing out on that. Now, Another thing that you can do, and you may have it. So if you have done this thing that I'm about to say, make sure you tell me in the comments because I'm nosy and I want to know. You'll have friendships that will slip because you are so busy building. Yeah, I said it. Sometimes when we're trying to build a brand, build a business, build whatever it is that you're trying to build, because I don't know what else y'all may do, but I don't just know what I'm doing. You will let some of your friendships slip. Now, let's dive into this in two lanes about the friendships. Part one about the friendship. Sometimes your friendships are gonna slip because you may be saying, hey, I need to take a good hard look at myself and I need to what's the word I want to use, y'all? I need to disengage from everybody, okay? I need to relearn me or get to know yourself again. Because sometimes we miss out. We miss out on us. We're so busy doing all the things that we forget to do stuff with us. And when I say us, that means yourself, myself. We forget that. Now, mind you, I will say this. If you're having one of those moments, please be very communicative with your friend group, your family, whatever, and tell them, hey, I need to take some time for me. You've done nothing wrong, but I need to take some time for me. Because I did do that earlier this year. And I was not communicative with my friend group. And everybody's like, oh, you're mad at me. No, not mad. I actually was taking time for me because I was giving too much of myself to too many people and too many places and things. And now it's kind of like, oh, well, you were mad at me, so I don't really want to fool with you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hang out with you no more. That's perfectly fine. But for others of my friends, they were like, oh, you good, because I've done that before too. And, I didn't say nothing to you either. Sometimes it works. And sometimes it just weeds out the bad friends. Now, on the other side of this, your friendship slipping because you're building stuff, I'm gonna say probably a couple of weeks ago, almost a month ago now. I was rebranding my business. And if you don't know, my business is Thoughts with D. You can go check out the website, thoughtswithd.com. Yes, because I do social media management, social media marketing strategy, digital strategy, all the things. I mean, graphic designs, website, all that. Yes, shameless plug for my own business. Thank you very kindly. But, I was revamping my business because I started it a while ago, but I was like, I'm not getting results. And mind you, because I'm a girl who believes in the Lord. I prayed. I asked the Lord, what am I supposed to be doing? What do I need to do? So he kind of gave me where I needed to go with the business. And I had to shut down my website, bring my website back up, but no longer as the blog that it originally was, but as a working, functioning business site where you could click, book a consult with me, all the things. So this took me, I'm going to say probably about a good full 2 weeks to get my website up and running. Now, mind you, as quiet as it's kept, while I was doing this, I had a friend that I talked to normally on a regular basis, but I got so focused on my business and started building this website and rebranding and revamping my business that I let a friendship slip. Funnily enough, this friendship was actually one that I needed to let slip because once I came out of this working bubble, is what I shall call it, I had a conversation with this friend and I was like, hey, what do you plan on doing? It was almost like I was asking, what's your 5 and 10 year plan just for you as a person? Like, not even like asking in a relationship. Like, what do you plan on doing with your life? Like, what is your 2026 going to look like? Because in my head, I'm like, I'm planning for my business. I'm planning for my social media pages. I'm planning for this podcast for 2026. Yeah, because you should do it early, not wait till the year gets here, do it before. So I was just like, okay, you're my friend. Like, what you think of this? Y'all, I kid you not. Baby, wasn't a plan in sight. I'm just going to go with the flow. Baby, how you going to go with the flow? You still don't even know, because this year, my brand, my personal brand was authenticity, being authentically me, not hiding myself away from the world. But I was just like, that's something simple, just, not even like a plan of action, truthfully. It's just being who I am. And baby, the more they got to talking, I was like, I'm glad I ain't talked to you in about 2 weeks. I think we may not be talking going forward. But that's okay. But that's when you get to the real place of some friendships gotta go, some friendships are here for a season. Because like I said, you can't balance it all. Balance is ghetto. Then when you're trying to have it all, there is one thing that most of us are gonna let slip, and that is our own health. Now, mind you, I'm not just talking about physical health. You have your mental health, you have your emotional health. And I promise you, they will always get sacrificed at the altar of ambition and bag chasing. So, just, a little love note for you. Take care of your mental health. If things are going crazy and chaotic and you can't get yourself together, please go seek some therapy. I don't care what anybody says. The Lord made therapists, the Lord made therapy, psychology, all of that. You don't have to just fall deeply into it, but go get you some help. Go talk to a professional, please. Emotional health, talk to a professional. Or if you can see that a pattern of behavior from someone is causing you mental, emotional, or physical anguish, please disengage from that situation and run, babe. Run. And then something else for those who are believers who try to have it all. You're trying to do life. Your life is going pretty good. There's one thing you're going to start getting, and that's the spiritual dryness. Because now faith is not something that you're doing, because you love the Lord. It's just another task to check off your checklist. And I'm going to say this because I had a time, and I think I've said it before, where I thought I wasn't where I needed to be spiritually, but I was right where I needed to be. Why? Because I was dreaming a dream, and I started praying for this person in the dream, and the person wasn't even real, y'all. It was just a figment of my imagination. But my first thought was of prayer. So kudos to you, girl, because I was like, God, I don't think I'm talking to you enough. But I talk to him every day. I'm pretty sure I know the Lord, but that's why I'm glad he don't think like I think. But, I'm going to say all that to say because, if you're a believer, God didn't call us to run a marathon every day. This is not the St. Jude Marathon. We are not doing our 26 miles of whatever. All the Lord asks is that you walk with him daily. And guess what? Rest is a part of walking, okay? When you're running, take a break, walk. It's not interrupting anything. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you are asking, girl, you just been rambling on for a minute and chit-chatting and saying that balance is ghetto, and you're not telling us, how to combat this or make it look realistic. And here is what I'm going to tell you about what your balance should really look like. Okay? And I'm not saying don't hustle and do what you got to do. I'm just saying, there are seasons in your life where you should be running, and then there are seasons in your life where you should be walking and just taking a chill pill. So, number one, set yourself some clear boundaries. I'm going to say it again. Boundaries are just love with structure, okay? And that's just not even emotional for a relationship. That's for yourself. Love yourself with a little bit of structure. If you work from home, set working hours. I know if you work for a company, you do have specific hours that you're supposed to work. Work within those hours. When you work for yourself, please set yourself clear hours. When I first started my business, I was working nonstop 24/7. Like I was doing 10, 12 hours a day, basically. I had to stop myself from doing that. Girl, no, you got this time. You're going to work from 9 to 5 if you're going to do it. And within that 9 to 5 hour with maybe a 30-minute lunch break, because sometimes I don't even give myself a lunch break, you're going to work. You're going to do everything. You're going to write down your list and get it together. Also, something else that you should do is set a time limit for social media. Yes, I know I am a content creator. Not gonna lie, I'm a podcaster. I have to be on social media to get stories, to, get things that would help this podcast grow and make sure you're sharing this podcast with a friend, just saying. But the thing is, set those limits. Put your phone down from time to time. You cannot stay on social media forever because I do get on there, but after a while I'll be like, oh, this is boring. And now I don't even want to be on there anymore. So another thing that you can do when setting boundaries is also Have a rest day. What do I mean by this? If you work out and you're consistently working out, something I need to get back into, but if you're working out consistently, you have rest days. You have days where you don't work out. Have rest days where you have days that you don't do anything, okay? Take a break. If you ever watch the musical Hamilton and the song Take a Break, yeah, do that, okay? Number two, and what boundaries should really look like, protect your peace. That means saying no without feeling guilty. Because guess what? No is a full sentence. If somebody asks you to do something, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Or I don't have the capacity to do that. That means the mental capacity, time capacity, physical capacity, whatever it is, I don't have it. Turn down things that drain your energy. Because everything is not meant for you to do. Because, I almost said something, but I'm going to say this in a nice way, okay? If it's not assigned to you, if you're not told to do it, if you're in the work environment, ministry, whatever, or if you do not have a passion to do it, turn it down because that means it's not for you. You can look productive on paper, but you don't have to look productive on paper. That's just to make who feel good? Because not us. I definitely don't believe it's us. I'm going to say this for those who are, in the faith world. Number 3, faith-rooted productivity is something that you need to look at. Because if you're in the Black church, and I do mean the Black church, grateful for, a lot of these Black women speaking out about therapy, rest, and, how all the things they're supposed to do with faith, mental health, how they all can coexist, right? But in the Black church, they will work you until they can't work you no more. I'm saying this for those of you who are in ministry or whatever it is you're doing. If God does not tell you or put it in your heart to do it, if your leader is not asking you to do it, do not do it. And even if your leader asks you to do it, tell them I'll get back to you. I got to pray about it. Because you just don't need to blindly say yes. Now, for me, like I tell y'all all the time, I love youth ministry, right? So at one point, I was doing all these things in youth ministry, doing them. And it's like, baby, you can't tell me to do this. And I'm just trying to be helpful. But I wasn't assigned to do it. So now once I started pulling back, people like, oh, so you don't want to work with us no more? No, but it was never my assignment. It's yours. Do your job, okay? You were the one appointed to do this. I was not. I'm just helping you out. But in the helping you out, don't just be like, well, I need you to do this. And then you're sitting on your butt and you're not doing nothing. So, baby, I got a problem with that. And I've seen that in many different aspects and areas of me working in ministry. Like, don't ask me to help you out. And then you sit down and don't do nothing, but you just expecting the work to get done. Babe, that's your assignment, not mine. And lastly, number 4 of what balance should really look like. This right here, I need you to soak this in. I need you to bring it in. Be okay with imperfect progress. What do I mean by this? Imperfect progress. You are not perfect. Nothing that you do is going to be perfect. It can kind of look perfect, but it's never going to be perfect. Yeah, I said that. You are an imperfect person. Your progress is going to be imperfect. Sometimes you're going to progress forward, and then sometimes you're going to move back. Because we are human, it's natural for us to do that. But any growth that does not kill you is progress. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to give you a whole nother outlook of where you should be as a person. Now, mind you, like I said, a little gentle faith nugget for you. In all of these things of us trying to be balanced and what it should really look like, let me tell you something. Sometimes God, our Father, my daddy, is going to deal with us in our resting period, not our activity period. Because in that resting period, you can hear louder from him. Then once he deals with you in that's when he's going to deal in the results that you're asking for, the results that you need. And let me tell you this, babe. You're not behind on anything you're doing. You are not behind, okay? You're just on God's timeline. And as, of course, the cliche goes, our ways are not his ways. Our time is definitely not his time. And if nobody else has told you today or for the rest of the week, you are allowed to rest. You're allowed to slow down, and you are allowed to be human. And make sure you share it with somebody that needs that, because In this world, we need to know. Take a break. So let's just say here's where we're gonna land at, okay? I'm gonna say balance is not that problem. The pressure to seem balanced and to give that aesthetic is the problem. Trying to be everything everywhere perfectly, that's not going to have you having a good day. That's going to break you. Okay. So you need to go ahead and break that habit of trying to be everything for everybody and everywhere and show up perfectly. You are not supposed to be running the Ringling Brothers Circus. Okay. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be juggling 1,000 things and put a smile on your face with it. Okay. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Now, if you're a believer, we're going to say it like this. Okay. God didn't call you to run this race like that. That race, anyway, the one that you gave yourself, not the one he gave you, okay? He just wants you to walk with him and talk with him daily. Let's say it like this for everybody. You do not have to sprint through life. Take your time. You don't have to multitask everything. I know some of us are real good at it. I'm one of them. But you don't have to multitask everything. You don't have to try to impress people because guess what? Most people don't care. They don't. They live in their own life. They're not studying you. And just like I said, you don't have to sprint. This week, I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. What is it that I'm carrying that I need to put down? What is it? What do I need to do to protect my peace? What boundary do I need to set? And what progress have I made that I need to acknowledge that I made this progress? That's your questions you need to ask yourself going throughout this week until next time, you know? But all right, fam, here is the unofficial, unbothered benediction of the week. May your week be productive, but not punishing. May your rest be holy, not guilty. May your boundaries be firm, but still full of grace. And may your faith carry you further than any hustle ever will. Now, mind you, if this episode made you laugh or I dragged you a little bit, I'm a little sorry. My bad. Make sure you tell me. I need to know. It's going to help us grow together as a family here, okay? But let me tell you, you're doing good. You're doing real good, all right? And I'll see you next week, hopefully with a lot less stress, you're a little more rested, and a whole lot more balanced, or at least a little less ghetto.